I never thought I would say that the hub drive is beating a mid drive up a freaking mountain. This is just crazy. Like Hey guys, Roshan here from BIKTRIX, and I'm here in Hangzhou in China testing out some of our bikes. Here we have it, the BIKTRIX Roguehawk. This is the 26x4 version of the bike. It's a little dirty because we have been riding the hell out of this for the last couple of days. I came down here to a mountain right behind me, right over there. And we're gonna ride up this mountain and see how well the bikes perform. And I wanted to compare it really with the Ultra motor, which is by far my favorite motor. I always thought that hub drives could never beat mid drives in terms of performance. We'll see if that's true or not. Out here in Hangzhou today, just riding the Roguehawk. This is the first ever production version of the Roguehawk. I made a trip out here so we can test the bike out and fine-tune the controllers before they assemble all of the bikes. And I must say, I am super impressed with what we've been able to achieve with this bike. You know, BIKTRIX has always tried to push the boundaries when it comes to electric bikes. We launched our 52 volt bike, I think like 4 or 5 years ago, when 52 volts was unheard of. Everybody was using 36 and 48 volts. And we launched 52 volts. People thought we were crazy, but now 52 volts seems to be like the standard for most of the high performance bikes. The Roguehawks is special because it's the first 70 volt e-bike in an e-bike kind of form factor. It looks most like a regular bike. Of course, the battery is all integrated in here. It can take a second battery that's either mounted up here or in the rear rack. They've got kind of like a mountain about 8-9 kilometers from here, so we're gonna ride over there, and then I really want to test how this rides up that hill. So just a full disclosure, I rode this yesterday up that hill and I was super impressed because the Ultra motor has always been my most favorite motor to ride, but I found that I think the Ultra motor has a pretty big competitor with our 70 volt hub drive motor. Don't get me wrong, I still love the Ultra motor. I think it's the best, one of the best mid-drive motors out there. I never thought I would say that a hub drive motor is offering a serious kind of competition to the Ultra motor. So in China, you know, all these bikes and trikes have become electric. Look at that little thing. That's electric. Here's a good stretch, so let's give her. I'm gonna go up to 5. Man, this is so much fun! And I'm already at like 57, 58. And I ran out of road. Another stretch. Let's give her. Beautiful city and great bike. All right, better wait for the guy. So I don't even have a fully charged battery here. We're at 72 volts, which is why I'm topping out at about 58. I think yesterday we were able to get out to about 63 actually on a fully charged battery. I'm about half charged right now, but I do have a fully charged battery that we're gonna get at the hill or the mountain or whatever they call it, so we can see how well it rides. Scooters like these are super popular over here. People keep riding them everywhere. All right, let's go. I love that these bikes have quad piston hydraulic brakes. It gives me the confidence to go fast and come to a good stop really fast too. I'm not even going full throttle because I want my buddy here to lead the way. also riding mostly with throttle because I really want to see how long these bikes last on just throttle, because I think a lot of people want to know that. My colleague here was complaining that the Ultra motor was too slow because he's only used to hub drives. So that's when I told him that he's got to shift gears just like a motorcycle, and now that's been a bit of a game changer for him. It's a common mistake actually that a lot of people make, where they get a mid-drive and don't use the gears enough, and it's like getting a Porsche, like a really fast 911, and just using it on the third gear all the time. You got to shift. If you got to go through all the gears if you want the performance you seek, So they have these paths, and these paths have no red lights, so it's a constant go. So oftentimes it's way faster to go on a bike, at least an e-bike, around town than it is to go in a car. I think China gets a pretty bad rep for a lot of things, but infrastructure is one of those things that the West can really learn from a lot of cities in China. I think they manage populations that are way larger and roads that are way lesser, and they just design it in such a way that it's really efficient. Like, look at this, complete protection from the road for cyclists and moped riders. And they have these speed breakers, so we're not going too fast. Are you gonna jump a light? I don't know. Don't want to get arrested or something. One thing I do struggle with in China is the language, of course. Like right now, it feels like I'm like one of two brown people in Hangzhou, and not everybody speaks English. Actually, barely anybody speaks English. We've been fortunate that our factory, almost everybody speaks English, so it's been really easy to communicate with the technicians, the salespeople, and all the staff to get exactly the products that we want. So here's another thing you would notice is that it's mandated that construction vehicles, when they come out to the road, their tires need to be washed. So you see this guy had all his tires washed before coming to the road, so he's not bringing a bunch of dirt on the road. Amazing. And the other thing that got me is I often noticed that the streets were wet and I thought it was raining, but it's actually not rain. They wash the streets every day. I think in Saskatchewan, where I'm from, we'd be happy if they washed the streets 2 times a year. But labor is expensive. Everything's more expensive there, so it's kind of understandable. So there's the hill that we're trying to go up after, and we're gonna go to the backside of that hill where they have like a path so we can ride up that hill. It's fairly steep. I know it doesn't look massive from here, but it's actually quite big. Nothing like the Rockies, but good enough to compare how well the bike climbs. This city is just beautiful. Look at this water feature here. It's like a little lake. So this is the thing I really love about this hub motor, is that the top speed is insane. All right, let's go up this climb. My battery is just about 30-40%. You can see this bike has no problem going up this hill at about 30-35 kilometers an hour. I find, this is the biggest difference with the Ultra motor versus this hub motor that's really powerful, is that the Ultra motor would certainly make up this hill, but it wouldn't do it so fast. Like as soon as you shift up to a higher gear to go fast, the Ultra motor would start struggling and start overheating. So you'll have to really kind of drop the gears and go slow. But to the Ultra motor's credit, it is way more efficient on battery than a hub motor is. That said, look at the kind of climb I'm doing. Like this is a fairly large climb. And this bike is not even coughing. Like I'm not even pedaling. It just goes up this hill like no problem. I think right after this curve here, there's a little bit of a steeper climb. And you see, it's actually gaining speed going up this hill, which is just super impressive. I think I'm gonna go up there and wait for Eddie and see how long it takes him to make up here. I'm hopeful that he shifted gears correctly and stuff. All right. I think they're still building the road to go further ahead, but this is as high as we can get. And you know, it didn't look like that big of a climb, but on a regular bike, this would be a really big challenge. Here, check out this view from here. It's just amazing, like we're on top of the world kind of thing. Going down this is pretty sketchy, so I try to keep the speed under control, and the brakes really work well. So this is where I get to test our quad piston brakes. Oh, and there he is. How is it? Oh, he is on the lowest gear. I want to go down there and swap the battery out and make up this climb on a fully charged battery and see how that does. This Roguehawk with a 70-volt system has no problem going up this hill. And because it's a full suspension, I don't think you can see it in the camera, but the road's not silky smooth, so there's a bunch of little bumps. And I don't feel most of it because the shocks just absorb all of it. You know, on a 750 watt hub drive, this would be a struggle. It would probably, I would guess it would probably top out around 15 to 20 kilometers an hour going up this hill. On a ultra motor, I'm guessing around 20 to 25, maybe if you're using the gears really well, pushing it to 30. Amazing.
Great.
He doesn't like ultra that much.
Yeah.
After riding this one. The only thing is right now, you see, when you throttle, it's off, and then at one point it goes too fast. So you just need to make it more smooth, because you know old people might get scared.
OK 了是吗？
This is good. This is good.
那还有什么问题？
It's just the slow start.
哦，这个是吧 ？OK， 那就那个问题解决了，找他那个，那就再缓一点试试看。
Sometimes this throttle halt signal may not be linear, you know? It's a gorgeous looking bike. Look at that paint job. It's kind of like a pearl blue with a bright orange. There's the other color variant of the Roguehawk. It's like a military green with sulfur yellow. It's freaking gorgeous. A lot of people ask us, like, why'd you go with a basic Shimano shifter? The reason we went with this is it's much easier to use for a lot of older people because you can see all the gears easily, and then it's easier to shift, and it's out of the way from the throttle because this has got a twist throttle. So when you add a trigger shifter, it kind of gets really clunky in the way. So you could get a SRAM NX shifter, something like this, but you'll have to get a thumb throttle like that to make it work. I think it's very close. I think it rides, yeah, pretty close. All right, I'm gonna make up that climb on a ultra motor. The battery's about 67%. See, off the bat, it goes pretty good, you know? And of course, there's a little bit of a delay when you shift, which I'm not a big fan of. Like, honestly, the motor has no trouble making up this hill, but it's the top speed. You know, you're going at around 20, which is what I thought you would, and let's shift. And you see it starts struggling as soon as you shift, because now it's the motor is kind of struggling. So let's go up to a lower gear to make it easier for the motor. So lower gear, climbing no problem, just throttle. It's a little whiny, but 15 kilometers an hour, 16 kilometers an hour, and then let me shift. I was guessing we should do like 20, 25 on an ultra, but maybe I was wrong. Let's see. I'm just gunning the throttle. 24, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna pedal a little bit just to help it out a little bit. So now we're at 22. The motor really doesn't like this. 23, got a little bit of a flat stretch here, so I think I'll gain some speed. 24, 25, 27, 29. So we're pulling about 1500 watts, which is the maximum watts that the ultra motor does. So we're at 28 kilometers an hour. We're losing speed, which means my gearing's too high. I'm gonna shift lower. But yeah, not near as fast as the hub drive, which I can't believe I'm saying. I never thought I would say that the hub drive is beating a mid drive up a freaking mountain. This is just crazy. Like I never ever thought I would say this. Do you have a new battery?
Yes, we have two.
Right off the bat, this thing just kills it going up this hill. Like, I'm doing a slight pedaling here, I'm not applying any pressure, but holy shit, it's already at 36. I'm trying my best not to let go of the throttle. I want to see how it, whether it bogs down or anything of that sort. Oh, 39, 40, 38, 40. Okay, as you can see, this was a lot faster than the Ultra motor climbing up this hill. Going up this hill, I probably just need like 3 gears. I didn't even shift because it was just going so fast. It was comfortable riding up this hill. Whew. Way faster than the Ultra.
Yeah.
Going up that hill.
Sure.